Welcome to the RG DFS Tournament Takes podcast. I'm your host, Chris Kirkwood, here with the squad. Noto and Beer, my boys, the Notorious one, Derek Farnsworth, and Beermaker, Chris Prince, the guy who does all the good, the fantasy bar content that you see daily online. But what is up, fellas? We're back for week 17, 9 games, kind of a crazy little weird slate. But how we doing, Noto?
Yeah, I was trying to remember what happened in week 16. Feels like a lifetime ago with Christmas and all the different slates. But I think I had a good week. And Kirk, I know you had a good week. So congrats to you. And yeah, doing well. I'm glad Christmas is over. Get to declutter the house. And now we get some playoff football here soon.
Yes, sir. None of you degenerates were up at almost 2 in the morning watching Joker on Christmas like
Absolutely
me?
Not. Absolutely.
How was your Christmas, Beer? How are we doing?
Great Christmas. Like I said, it's my favorite holiday. It always comes and goes so quick. But I'm with Noto. I was thinking back, like, how was week 16? Because there's so much in between, and Christmas Day slates, and we got slates going on today. So it was solid. No huge hits, but congrats to you, Kirk. And Christmas was good. So this week, I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting like the old week 17 vibes, the new week 18 vibes. Like it's kind of ugly. We don't have a ton of games. We only have 2 4 p.m. window games. So, just kind of an ugly slate. But there's money to be won, so we're going to be here trying to take advantage of that.
So, shout out to everyone on the show because I did have a good week. I got lucky and got first for 10K and a 250 on FanDuel that I entered. And man, the sweat was crazy. Have you ever had to sweat like that where the refs just took 5? Like anything happens with like Amon Ra and I lose. I just dropped significantly. And they sat there huddled up for 5 minutes making me sweat. So that was kind of a brutal sweat. But I basically played the lineup that we all put together on the show or just over on FanDuel. I just had one little difference. It was a big difference. I had Gainwell over Aaron Jones, and that was only because of correlation the way my lineup was. So kudos to us. I think we've had a few weeks where we've absolutely nailed the lineup
for sure
on the show. So let's not jinx ourselves, but let's make it happen again here. First of all, I just have to say, catch those Don Yeezy tickets was in chat first again. I mean, minus 1,100 is now up to minus 2,000 going.
Minus 2,000 for sure. Can anybody take him out? That's my question. The guy's here 27 minutes early. That's dedication. So yeah, minus 2,000 feels right.
We got Richie Smalls. I see Corey in the house is here. So thank you guys and for watching and participating. All right, yeah, kind of a weird slate. Only 9 games. A lot of the big names are off. We do have one game with a really high total. And then one other game right below it, and then really just a bunch of other games. But big picture overview, Noto, how's the slate looking to you?
Yeah, it's a bad slate when I want to stack the Raiders. 9 games, a lot of them. A lot of the teams don't have anything to play for. So yeah, it's not a great slate. But these are the slates that are kind of fun because your lineups don't look great, but everyone else's lineups don't look great either. Still waiting on some injury news. Like if Travion Henderson ends up being out, I think we get some chalk with Ramondre Stevenson. Brock Bowers being out is kind of why I want to stack the Raiders. But yeah, it should be a fun slate, even though it doesn't look great on paper when you're building lineups.
Beer. I know you wish you had a few more of the later games in the day, but big picture overview, you liking it? Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be fun. It's ugly for sure. We're gonna have some big chalk, maybe some biggest of the season that we're gonna talk about at quite a few positions. There's clearly, a couple games that people are gonna go after with good reason. There's the ugly games. I'm with Noto. I'm intrigued by this Raiders Giants game, but there's so many trapdoors in that game as well that. Nothing is clear and confident in some of these teams. Titans, Saints, games like that. Does Jacksonville continue to just pile up points? Can Phillip Rivers do anything? Do we really trust Geno Smith? there's so many fun, interesting things and a lot of injuries. There's going to be a lot of value that's opened up, and none of it feels like, you're super confident about, but just going to be a fun week to build lineups. I think there's going to be a common build for people, spending up at wide receiver, maybe spending down in the mid-range at running back. So, as we always say, there's tons of ways you can build, and I think there are some intriguing spots this week we can attack.
It kind of feels like a playoff slate to me, where we have like 4 games or something like that. Because really, like, there's only like 4 games I really want to concentrate on. But wow, we got someone in chat who binked.
Yeah, Diddy.
Let's go.
Single entry. Diddy in the house. But congratulations. I'll have to go back and look you up and see what you beat me on.
Congrats. Love to hear it.
We knew people were out there. Like, somebody's got to be binking, but no one ever shouts us out on Twitter. But anyways, happy to see you won. That's awesome. Like I said, I think we've been pretty hot here and like kind of leading people in the right way. All right, so let's get rid of the housekeeping stuff first. So we've got the 3-day pass over here. RotoGrinders want to try NFL DFS tools without a full season commitment. Well, for a limited time, you can get half off a 3-day NFL pass and access everything you need to crush the slate. You'll get the optimizer tool, Lineup HQ, which is packed with player projections, ownership projections, and more smash percentages. So everything you need. You'll also get SimLabs NFL, the easiest way to build smart competitive lineups in just a few clicks. All that and more for only $9.99. So don't miss your chance to get some serious edge this week. We also are doing Pick Labs over here. Pick Labs is our newest feature that lets you scan the best player props and pick 'em bets in seconds. Everything's broken down for you, from edges and win rates to value. It's a clean board, clean showing here, which plays actually stand out. It shows you which plays stand out across all the sports books and the pick'em prop sites like Underdog and Prize Picks. So when you see something you like, Pick Labs builds the slips and it sends it directly straight to the book of your choice. It's super easy. So right now you can do that. Pick Labs completely free on RotoGrinders. All right, let's quickly talk. We go over the big picture here. So we've got, like I said, the highest total game, 53.5, Arizona at Cincy -7. We've got some Jamar Chase saying he's hungry for touchdowns. Probably willing to bet that all 3 of us like Jamar Chase and think that he's definitely going to get in the end zone. So I haven't seen the odds on a anytime touchdown, but I'm sure that probably looks like a gimme. The odds are going to be bad, I'm sure, but I think that's happening for sure. Under there, we have Jacksonville and the Trevor Lawrence, who's just been going ham, -5 at old man Philip Rivers and the Indianapolis Colts. And even though they got blown out, which I was happy for because I bet on San Fran, and they gave up 48 points to San Fran, Rivers looked pretty freaking good to me for his age. Really like, I thought too in that game, I thought I was like, okay, he's going to be sore as hell this week. Like, this is the first week was like, okay, I'm back, but like then your body's going to respond. Nope. I mean, there's a reason why the guy has 20 kids. He's just a superhuman, I guess. It's also fun seeing his full suite with all his family in there. There's so many people in there, which is funny, but kudos to him. So I think he looks good. But anyway, I bought I think last week I bought some Trevor Lawrence MVP tickets at long odds. We'll see what happens.
Making a charge.
Yeah. And then the last little like tier below that is Tampa -5.5 at Miami, 44.5 point total, and Philly at Buffalo. Buffalo's a favorite -1.5, 44 point total. And then the totals get really ugly from there. We will guide through it. We'll do what we normally do. We'll talk running backs first. We'll head over to the quarterbacks, align that to the wide receivers for our stacks. We'll talk some tight ends. We'll talk some defenses, and then we'll build a lineup for the people. And hopefully somebody banks another one. My man Diddy. All right. Running back position. So I did remember last week on the show, I said it's going to really test the blitz faithful. going against Houston if they're going to play the optimal Janty, and man, they got rewarded. And there were plenty of them who did play a lot of him in there. Like I said, I like to go. I was actually going in there hoping that they all were tilting and saying that, God damn it, I didn't play him this 1 week. But no, people actually played it. So good for them, good for Cardi, good for the projections. I mean, the guy just nuked. So it's going to be an interesting situation with him this week because he looks like a phenomenal play at 6,100. He gets the matchup of all matchups against the Giants run D, which has just been all-time bad, just horrible. And only 6,100 and coming off of this massive game. The problem is that they have no incentive to win. They have the incentive to lose, both teams, both sides of this game. So I don't know. When players are out there, they're playing. They don't give a – they're not being told you better not score a touchdown. You know, they're basically they've made the decision to sit Bowers. They made the decision to sit Crosby. They've showed that they're trying to tank a little bit, but like Pete Carroll's going to be out there chewing his gum like always and trying to win a freaking football game, I think, right? So I don't know. I'll be interested to hear your takes on that. We've got some high-end stuff as well, like Jonathan Taylor to at least consider. Travis Etienne looks like probably the best field play because he's just been great. And this is a game, you know, like I said, Indy just gave up 48 points to the 49ers. Etienne's just been absolutely crushing each week. And so there's that. Then we do have some like ceiling plays with like, and if you want to like not play Jamar Chase or T. Higgins, the passing of Chase Brown, just who went off last week, 32 fantasy points, you know, got 2 touchdown passes, 1 rushing touchdown. So just did it from all angles. So you could consider him for ceiling. Then we've got Gainwell potentially, who, you know, is without DK. He's been getting a lot of targets for Pitt. So I think he gets a boost. I don't know. There's a lot of good plays. So I'll start with you, Noto. Who are your key personnel this week for the running back position?
Yeah, it's hard to not like Ashton Janty. Like, look, the Raiders, yeah, they're resting guys, but I think management wants them to lose, but I don't think the players want them to lose. Pete Carroll's on the hot seat, so, I mean, if he's going to go out, this is his last NFL coaching job, you know, he's not going to want to go out with 2 losses. So I think we're going to see a good performance from the Raiders. You mentioned the all-time bad run defense of the Giants. I mean, if Janty gets 20 touches in this one, he's going to smash. So I like him. I think the way to get different with him is to just stack up the Raiders completely. Like, I don't mind the 4-man stack with Geno, Janty, Tucker, and Mayer. If you get 3 or 4 offensive touchdowns, like that stack's looking really good because you can pretty much do whatever you want with the rest of your lineup. So I'm going to eat the Janty chalk. I'm just going to look to get different with the way I play him. I like Jonathan Taylor against the Jaguars. The Colts, you know, not officially eliminated yet, so I think we're going to see a decent performance from them. Love Saquon Barkley. The best way to move the ball against Buffalo is through the ground, through the running back position. I think I'm going to try to be overweight on him. Then for large field stuff, I like Chase Brown a little bit. He's been quietly having a great second half of the season. He's at 18-plus fantasy points in 4 straight games. He gives you some leverage off of, you know, the passing game if you don't want to stack up Cincy. Arizona's been terrible against the run and against the pass. So I think Brown's interesting. And then obviously if Trayvon Henderson's out, I think you got to play Ramondre Stevenson against the Jets, who can't stop anybody on the ground. So those are my top 5. Don't mind looking to like Tracy or Bucky, but I like the 5 that I mentioned the best.
Yep. Ramondre will go to like lock button status potentially if Trayvon is out. They said he practiced in full yesterday, I think. Yeah. So
and he shed the non-contact jersey too.
Yeah. What are you thinking, Beer?
Yeah, Genty's interesting. I agree with Noto. Like, you can see the case that it's a great matchup, obviously, you know, and his involvement, the way he's been playing. To put a number like that on the board against Houston, super impressive. I agree. I think stacking him is a way to kind of minimize some of that ownership because we're talking, you know, 40, 50% owned. You know, anytime you hear that number in tournaments, you got to think, do I fade this? Do I play it a different way? And I think that's a creative way that you can get, you know, some lower ownership is include Geno. And you can go heavy with it. You can go just those 2 and not try to guess who the pass catcher is going to be. You know, he is a good pass catcher. So, you know, if he gets there that way, kind of carries Geno with him, which is a little opposite. Usually our quarterbacks are carrying the other pieces, but I think that is super intriguing. So that's kind of the way that I'll be handling that. If you fade them, I get it. There is concerns, do they want to win? But I'm with you guys. If they're on the field, they're playing, there's no way. But, maybe he gets pulled at halftime. There's all these things that could theoretically happen. I'm not going to go down that route. I do think he's a great play and a great matchup, but stacking him with Geno makes a lot of sense. Guys, I love Saquon Barkley. I don't get why he's not seeing more ownership here. We're getting, pretty heavy ownership on Taylor, on ETN. They're fine. Tootin may be back, which could hurt ETN a little bit. We know the drawbacks with Jonathan Taylor, but Barkley against Buffalo just seems like they're going to give him the ball. The guy's got 20 or more carries in 3 straight games. Has gone over 100 yards in 2 of those 3 games. So he's one of my favorite plays on the board at any position, especially spending up at running back is not going to be popular this week. So I really like him. I really like Kenneth Gainwell. This is going to kind of depend on how tonight goes, because if Baltimore loses tonight, Pittsburgh locks up the division. How much motivation do they have? So the intrigue with Gainwell, they don't have DK Metcalf. Now they don't have Calvin Austin. Like, your top receiver is MVS, Adam Thielen. I think they could get me even more creative with Kenneth Gainwell. You guys mentioned targets have been there. He's been phenomenal for them, kind of like a chess piece. So he could see even more. Play some as a wide receiver even. He is super intriguing if they have something to play for. So that one you'll have to keep an eye on and see. I agree on the Tyrone Tracy call. Look, the Giants, you talk about establish the run. They don't want to do anything with Jackson Dart, and I don't know if it's a matter of they didn't trust him against Minnesota and Flores. They don't want him to get hurt. Whatever the case may be, the Giants are running the ball so much. So Tracy, super intriguing. I like both sides of that Cincinnati-Arizona game. I think Chase Brown, a lot easier of a click, but Michael Carter, another guy coming in at, 5, 6, 7% owned. And it's not clear, DeMarcado is still there, but it's the best matchup on the board. Cincinnati's been that bad against running backs, and we're all excited about the passing game, but for good reason. But don't forget about Michael Carter. I agree on Ramondre Stevenson. If Henderson's in, he's going to be in my player pool. Just such a big play threat there against the Jets. And then I'll add Jaylen Warren as well, with Kenneth Gainwell. Same kind of caveat. Keep an eye on what happens tonight. But we all kind of forgot about him last week, and we saw the level of upside that this guy can give you in a much tougher matchup against the Lions. So
he did that right at the end too.
Oh yeah, he helped one of my season-long
touchdowns at the
big
end.
Time with that. So, but
Nice.
I really love Saquon. If Gainwell is a full go, really love him. And Chase Brown, Michael Carter, I think are super intriguing this week.
And did you say James Cook at all?
I did not, but he's kind of in that same vein. I like Barkley a little bit better, but Cook is in there. Now, Jalen Carter going to be back, so that's the one thing that puts a little bit of a damper on that, but he's shown he can smash in almost any spot.
Yeah, so I'm looking at this, and so it's like a 9-game slate. I'm thinking, like, how do we play something different? So I look at the first thing and I say Janky. I mean, so there is at least a path for him potentially failing. Like, maybe they limit him, maybe they do something like that. ETN, there's a potential path where he fails. I like him, but there's a path there. And like then I look at like guys like Saquon, James Cook, like Achane, like top end running backs that have been top end running backs for a while and aren't going to get a lot of love. So that's one way at least that I'm like thinking is a way to get potentially different. So like out of like those guys, I know you like Saquon the best. Do you have any do you have any love for Saquon and or like let's say like James Cook versus Achane? Do you like either of those guys? Do you prefer?
Yeah, I'm on Saquon for sure. One of my favorite plays on the board. I think I'm going to end up tagging him over Jonathan Taylor, although I like Taylor too. Then Achane versus Cook is tough. Achane, I was worried about the team motivation last week, but Achane still got there. Tampa Bay's run defense hasn't been as good the last second half of the season, so I still like James Cook because they have a lot to play for. But yeah, that's interesting. And then Beer mentioned, if the Packers win tonight, the Steelers have nothing to play for. I think like one of my favorite bets of the week is just parlaying the Packers with the Browns money lines, or you can do the other way. You can parlay the Ravens with the Steelers money lines because depending on what happens in that game is going to, dictate what happens in the Steelers-Browns game. So I think it's an interesting way to attack it from a betting angle. But give me all the Saquon, give me all the J&T this week.
Let me throw a super gross one out here. We love to do this. So if Green Bay wins and Pittsburgh tomorrow, they're resting everybody. Caleb Johnson's a guy that they put a lot of investment in, and they may say, okay, we're sitting Gainwell, we're sitting Warren, and Caleb Johnson could be a guy that gets 15 to 20 carries in the spot. So just something to keep in the back of your mind. It's not the sexiest play. It's going to be super cheap, but that's something just to, if things play out the right way, we get the news tomorrow, he'll garner some ownership at that point. But this is a talented guy that just hasn't shown it yet. So just keep that one in your back pocket.
Is there an anytime touchdown line up yet right now?
For who?
For our boy that you just said, Caleb Johnson.
I don't think there's any. The last time I looked, there was no props up on any Pittsburgh running backs, but that was yesterday. I'll take a look.
Because that's Tinsley. This is reminding me of Tinsley a little bit. So
see,
I can't miss it. Is what I'm saying.
All right, we'll see. We'll see if we can get you a line.
I'm not seeing one.
There probably isn't one, but
yeah, they'll probably only do it if the chips fall in the right place. All right. Who else are we thinking? We got to have some Millie Maker guys here. Do we have any like Tony Pollard, even though he gets no passing game?
Did you guys talk about Dylan Sampson?
I was just going to say, if Pittsburgh's got nothing to play for.
And even if they do, he gets very involved in the passing game. So I kind of think either way, he's in an interesting spot.
So basically, if Ravens lose, they're done. If they win, and then Pitt has to win, or else then they have the Week 18 matchup that would decide it for them. But if Pitt wins, they're still in regardless, right? Is that the way it breaks down?
Yeah.
If the Ravens, Pittsburgh wins the division. You want some good news? You're gonna love this, Kirk. This is right up your alley. Caleb Johnson, anytime touchdown on DraftKings plus 2,800.
I'm gonna bet it right after I get off.
I am as well. And look, some of the other numbers are all there's a plus 1,200.
Wait, do they have a first TD? Do they have a first TD for $1 million to 1?
I'm looking at my site right now, and like just this random site that I have in Saskatchewan. For some reason, anytime touchdown scorer for Caleb Johnson is plus 4,100. Like 41 to 1 it is.
Yeah.
And then his first touchdown is 36 to 1. So they got his I haven't played on
this may be this there's a lot of ways to get it. So so the Ravens lose, we're live, right? Okay. Yeah. So then if Pitt has a huge first
right now because his anytime
Pitt has a huge
better odds.
If Pitt has a huge first half and they have the game in hand, boom. We got outs there too.
First touchdown on DraftKings plus 7,500.
Oh my God.
Now, if you're gonna do this, you got to do this today. Yeah, but if you wait and then you get the news tomorrow, the numbers going to be long gone. So
I wanted to host the show, but I'll try to log in right now.
You don't have to do it right now. It's not going away anytime before the games tonight.
Well, we have thousands of viewers in chat who are ready to jump at the thought of anything that we say here.
There's going to be all these bets on
nice
Caleb
Johnson little dart.
Yeah, he's gonna DMP. Everyone's gonna flame us. The Kirk Syndicate.
DMPs, the bad boys.
The Beer Syndicate.
Yeah, we're cool with the DMP.
Fun. And I could see it playing out that way. If you're Pittsburgh, why would you?
Oh yeah, DMP. We get our money back, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. See, it's kind of a no lose.
But he's not a special team guy, is he?
I think he's returned some kicks at some point, but he's not a primary. But who knows with all their injuries?
All right, 1 second. All right, so someone talk some running back while I put this in.
I think we covered anything else, Noto. I think we covered the main guy. Barkley really just stands out as a guy that's I don't get it. Buffalo's been so bad against the run that they're going to give him the ball. So 20 carries, he's going to average 4 to 5. passing game usage you wish was a little bit more, but I don't really have any other running backs. That's pretty much the pool. We covered everybody.
Well, there's a situation I was going to bring up. Seattle, good matchup against Carolina. They've been bottom 3 run defense in the second half of the season. So, I mean, we've tried Kenneth Walker, or at least Kirk has, every week this season, and it hasn't worked. But maybe this is the week, Kirk.
No, I didn't. Not every week. I only came in when I thought it was eventually going to start to hit. But the problem is, I lost like two slates because of him, and then I couldn't do anything because it was a showdown where he hit. So it was
look at Richie Smalls throwing another one on the fire. 2 TDs for Caleb Johnson.
Oh, where is this?
5,000.
I didn't bet that one here. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be on these. I did not come into the show expecting to be so high on. That's why I love doing the show. You just think of things, and here we are hammering Caleb Johnson back.
I remember when I did a show with you in baseball, Beer. I think I was like all in on who's the awful Yankees player who used to be on the Rockies, who was the hitting champion at one time, but he's washed. Come on, my man. I'm just drawing a blank here.
Arenado?
No, worse. The leadoff hitter for Rockies, same team with Arenado.
Charlie Blackmon?
No, not Story, not Blackmon. Come on, it's so easy.
Yeah, wasn't Blackmon their leadoff?
EJ LeMahieu.
LeMahieu, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I bet him. I remember I hammered him like for a home run and lost.
That was quick. Casey Douglas in the chat.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I don't know what's going on with this site that I was looking at, but I got him at 41 to like plus 4,100, and so but my max bet for it was only $30, so I got $30 to win 1,200, but like looking at it, if you go to the individual touchdown scores and you want to bet Caleb Johnson, it's plus 1,800 or plus 4,600 for 2. And it's same thing in if I try and go single game parlay. So it's very weird because it's full on just like a glitch in this spot because all the other places within the site for him to score some variation of a touchdown are worth odds. But I got it for $30 at least.
Hey, find that guy that hit DK for that glitch. Did you guys see that on the World Series and the hit? I mean,
yes,
and they're making him pay it out. So here's another quick this Caleb, if you bet it. And Baltimore wins tonight, you can probably just cash out at the same amount you put in and not even risk it. So it's another thing to keep in mind.
Oh, well, that's not the way we're not playing to cash.
Well,
out
if Pittsburgh's playing for something,
I'm playing for 2.
Get rid of that bet.
And I'm playing for 2 tutties for 250 to 1 right now is what I'm doing.
Yeah, you need Baltimore to lose then. Otherwise, he's probably not seeing the field.
No, but the thing is that if they're up huge in the first half, and then they pull the starters, we still got a chance.
Wait, so I want to make a parlay now. Do I need Baltimore to win or lose if I want to play Caleb Johnson?
Baltimore to lose.
Yeah.
So Green Bay money line. Green Bay
wins, then
Pittsburgh locks up the division.
Yeah, that makes sense. Got it.
And they could rest both guys. There's still 2 weeks to go. So, are they going to rest guys for 2 weeks? Some teams are going to play it out. It's certainly a question mark, but that's why we get plus 7,500, plus 25,000. Like, just a fun little sweat.
You think you'd at least get like 5 touches, even if the other guys are active.
You should. I want to see some damn tickets, too. If this cashes, we better, on the pod feed, see some damn winning slips.
I can't wait. I'm in on all of them. All right. Where were we? So we were done with running back if we were talking about Caleb Johnson. All right. Let's move it on order to quarterback. Quarterback, we've got my MVP winning ticket, hopefully. It's going to take some Caleb Johnson magic. But Trevor Lawrence, 6,100. Guy has just absolutely been a beast. I think like going back over the past 6 weeks, he's QB1. 31 fantasy points last week, the 47 the week before. The most impressive thing is that they went into Denver and did this. I bet them. I like them. I like the way that they look right now. But I didn't play Lawrence in DFS. Wish I had last week. But in the Dome now in Indy, gotta like that. Joe Burrow, awesome play. It looks like they're going to be full throttle against Arizona and this horrible defense. Chase Has the feed me the touchdowns narrative going. Basically, if T. Higgins is on the field with Chase, Burrow does really well. So that's looking like that's how it's shaping up this week. You got the easy bring back with McBride. So love that. My boy, I won't say it's going to be a legacy first half like I correctly called the other week, but it's going to Drake. The Patriots still need this game, and Diggs looked freaking amazing the other night. I'm being honest. He looked so damn good. And now Booty's out, and who else is out potentially?
Hollins,
yeah, Mac Hollins is out. So
and Douglas is questionable.
Yep. So it's going to be Kyle Williams and Stephon Diggs are the guys. But Diggs is cheap. So that's a nice pairing with Drake May. And then we've got the garbage time hero, Jacoby, in a really good matchup against Cincy. We expect Cincy to be pushing this ball down the field. So this could set up beautifully for either Burrow or Brissett and both of them. And then I got to give some love to my guy, Shuck, who we called him. We played. That was the key with him and Olave and Juwan Johnson. So against Tennessee, I think you can just play that same pairing. And he left a lot on the table. I thought that was his tutty.
I did too, man. Taysom has been a thorn for like a decade. Like, damn.
And then I couldn't believe it with all the tweets started coming out about like this is his last game in New Orleans. They were going to look a bit like I never saw that all week.
I did not either.
I never heard anything. Yeah, so I mean that was the narrative. Like, so now I don't think that we'll see such a heavy Taysom game plan, but I mean he is cheap for a tight end play if you wanted to go that route. But I think the stack again is just Shuck, Olave, and Johnson, and then maybe Baker Mayfield could be in play because against Miami. And then I know you guys like Geno Smith. So to me, I just like Burrow, May, Brissett, or Shuck. Those are my guys this week. But you are starting to talk me, both of you guys, into Geno Smith. So I'll let Beer try to convince me some more here.
Well, in the chat, we're getting some fun bets here. Hard hat, lunch pail, 2 TDs for Saquon, Bucky, and Caleb Johnson. $5 bet, $114,000 payout. That's
so if somebody wins that, who you're taking us all on vacation? Isn't that what's happening? Or at least we're doing we're getting a week 18 free roll or something. We're doing for
sure. So the beauty of that, like $5. I mean, it's $5 and you get a nice little sweat out of it. So keep those coming. Yeah, for sure. Keep those coming. If you guys are joining us and betting this, let us know. So quarterback. I think there's 3 guys that really stand out. I mean, it's Joe Burrow at home against Arizona. Nothing to play for either of these teams, and we see the total in that game. So, don't need to spend a ton of time on that. But that offense at home, I think, is going to pile up the points. Against this defense, it's not been good and only getting worse. They're just getting trucked week in, week out. So I really like him. Trevor Lawrence has been absolutely on fire. So that MVP bet, very interesting. Stafford and May are the front runners, but this guy to go into Denver, and I had some, I wish I had more. And it's kind of been a thing with Denver's D that they've been great against bad teams. And we've seen teams light them up as well. So he puts a huge game on the board. Now gets Indy, who just got carved up by Brock Purdy. I mean, that guy did anything he wanted in that game. So Lawrence and Burrow really stand out. I think Drake May should be in that group as well. Going for the MVP, yes, but narrowing the target tree. It's tough to stack Drake May, but now we remove Booty. We remove Hollins. You potentially remove DeMario Douglas, and you got some pieces there that you can stack him up with. So those guys are the top 3. They're going to come with top 3 ownership as well. So some different guys. I think Jacoby Brissett going to be under-owned on this slate, and I'm hoping Marvin Harrison Jr. is out. It just removes, that little bit of a nuance in Michael Wilson, but that becomes a very clear double stack if Harrison is out. You mentioned Baker. I like Baker. This team is fighting for their lives. They have to win. He's gotten a lot more aggressive with his legs of late. You have Mike Evans back. I think this is a great Baker spot. So he's certainly a guy that I'm going to stack in tournaments. And then the cheapies, I've been playing Tyler Shuck for weeks. I'm not going to stop now. The clear double that you mentioned. I do like Geno. He was in the 6-pack somewhat begrudgingly, as nobody ever feels great about Geno Smith. Let's be honest, but a great price, a lot of cheap stacking partners, and a really good matchup. So the dots are all there for Geno Smith. The one guy I'm struggling with is Jackson Dart. I want to play the bounce back, the matchup. There's no Max Crosby. We know he can get it done with his legs. But how much motivation do they have? None. They want to run the ball. They want to keep him safe. There's so many checks against him, but the upside is certainly there. So that's one I'm kind of tossing back and forth. So if you guys have thoughts on Jackson Dart, please throw them out there. But those are for me. The top 3, Burrow, Lawrence, May, Brissett, and Baker. In the mid-range, Baker, super intriguing. And then Geno and Shuck kind of on the lower end of pricing.
I did just watch a little video of Jackson Dart saying that he's been heard by management about what he wants out of this offense for the rest of the season. So it's at least interesting that he's like, he wants, he's going to be out there and he's going to want to do well and succeed. They want to obviously keep him healthy. They may, they also should want to lose. But Noto, what are you thinking?
Yeah, as far as Dart goes, I'm encouraged by the fact that he had 9 for 63 on the ground in week 15. Obviously, last week against Minnesota, they've been shutting everybody down. Shout out to Beer for their defensive call last week. And then they shut down the Lions again this week. So I would just throw that last week's performance out the window. I'm okay with Dart and large field stuff. The chat's talking about, both teams wanting to lose, but maybe that just results in a bunch of touchdowns because both teams are trying to lose and both offenses, rack up a bunch of touchdowns in that game. I'm with you guys on the expensive guys. I like Joe Burrow. I like Drake May quite a bit. Both of them in great spots. Both of them huge team totals. I think Cincinnati's over 30 and New England's at like 27. And all the RG crew is on Kyle Williams. I was looking at the expert survey. Stevie's on him. And I was looking at lineup HQ, and we have 3 dots on Kyle Williams already. So that'll be a fun one if he plays well.
His ownership is shooting up. So I got
Patriots
another
Homer
name
here. Patriots
I got
Homer
another
here.
name. Patriots wide receiver.
Okay. But yeah, outside of that, I'm not too interested. I'm not going to play Trevor Lawrence. I just coming off that huge win against Denver, I just don't have a good feeling about this one. Phillip Rivers is going to have a legacy game against my Jags. I'm calling it now.
Legacy game.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Finally, someone with the balls to step up and do a legacy game.
I know how this ends as a Jaguars fan. It's just right when you start believing, they let you down. And then Geno, yeah, I'm on Geno just because he's so cheap and the stacking partners. If you play him with his 2 cheap guys, you can play JSN, Jamar Chase, Saquon, like with ease. You can play all 3 of them. You can play any running backs you want, any receivers you want. So it's really more about what you get with Geno than just, being excited about Geno himself.
Yes, sir. All right. We're getting. You already got us going, Beard. So I want to get the wide receiver as quick as possible to hear this next take out of you. But I'll just sum it up. I think we're all pretty much aligned on who the best plays are here at QB, and we're not deviating too far. I think keeping it tight, nice and tight pool here is the way to go. All right, wide receiver. Jamar Chase looks like he's going to be the highest owned for good reason. He's gets a ton of targets. He's actually absolutely elite. He hasn't scored a touchdown since week 6, I think it was, or somewhere around there. But
that's crazy.
Yeah, so and he's been vocal about it. So you'd think that this is the week that they're going to feed him, and it's Arizona D, and they're also missing Budda Baker now, who just showed up. They've been missing a ton of people, so this should be a
minus 150. Minus 150 on that Chase touchdown we were talking about.
Oh, then we've got to take that and at least parlay that with our boy Caleb. I'm going to do that. All right. From there, from a popularity standpoint, I guess the pivot for sure would be JSN. He's a little bit higher priced, but you can't deny the upside. He's been the wide receiver 1, just absolute phenomenal. Stephon Diggs is my guy at 5,800 because everybody that's out on the Pats, and he just looks so damn good if he gets playing time. He and May, May is the best deep ball thrower in the NFL. And so that's why Kyle Williams, people are drooling to play him. I mean, that touchdown to him in the corner of the end zone was perfect pass and a perfect catch. It was like unbelievable from both guys. And I'm a homer, yes, but got to give it up. Mike Evans, touchdown maker. Every time Jamar Chase is chalk, it seems like T. Higgins is the guy you want to play. You can play them both certainly this week. T. Higgins at 6,300 looks really solid. Olave, after last week, I definitely want to keep playing this guy. Owe it to the man, and so does Diddy in chat. I'm sure he had Olave on there. There's a ton of good plays. Like Josh Downs looked pretty good for 40. Looks pretty good at 4,200 because like Philip Rivers is just checking, just hitting them right in stride every time, it seems. Short passes down the field, so it looks like a good DraftKings play. But I don't know, a lot of ways to go here. Noto, lead us off here.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get Jamar Chase and JSN in most of my lineups. Love them both. Chase, obviously, with the great matchup, the upside, the touchdown narrative that we're talking about. And then JSN, he's had at least 20 fantasy points in 13 of 15 games this season. Carolina is not very good against the pass. I know that game could end up being lower scoring, but he gets there every week. So I love both of them. I'll let you guys play Jacoby Myers, whatever. I mean, he's fine for cash. He'll get you 10 to 15. He's had more than 20 fantasy points once all year. So if you look at his, I'm not even going to go on my Jacoby Myers rant, but he just hasn't hit 4 or 5X that you need. So he's fine for cash games, but not a guy that I love playing in tournaments. Really like Mike Evans. He's back to being there number one. I mean, over the last 2 games, he's had 48% of the team's air yards, 32% of the team's targets. They need to win. Good matchup against Miami, so he's one of my favorite guys. For cheap, Trey Tucker's fine. I like Kyle Williams, probably more upside than Trey Tucker. Go back to Chris Olave. He hooked us up last week, and pretty good matchup there against Tennessee. And I do like you guys' thoughts on Chuck being more in play, not knowing the narrative about Taysom Hill last week with his last game being in New Orleans. Josh Downs has kind of been one of the favorite guys for Philip Rivers. So if you're believing in the legacy game like myself, maybe pair him up with Josh Downs. Then I'll let Beer take the rest.
All right, Beer.
I mean, Chase, obviously, top play. I really like JSN. He's going to be half as owned as Chase. Higgins kind of in that same vein that, like you guys mentioned, Chase is great for sure, but you're talking about another guy that's going to be potentially 40% owned in tournaments. So, going to JSN, going to both, going to T. Higgins, there's a lot of ways. And I'm not saying don't play Jamar Chase. We're just looking for ways in tournaments that we can get a little bit different. But those two are the clear top 2, Chase and JSN. I really like Chris Olave. He's generally pretty highly owned, and this week doesn't seem like many people want to play him. The price is up. He just continues to pile up numbers. In Tennessee, much more beatable through the air. So we'll be going back to Shuck and Olave for sure. Love the Mike Evans call. I mean, again, Tampa has everything to play for. The matchup doesn't jump off the page with Miami, but I do think they'll find some success through the air. So really like that play. Michael Wilson. Nobody's talking about Michael Wilson. And this, again, I want Marvin Harrison out because when he's in there, it just kind of puts a thorn in everything. So if he's out in this matchup, and I know Cincinnati been good against number 1 receivers, yada, yada, I'll take the volume over that matchup in a higher scoring game any day of the week. So Trey Tucker getting a bunch of love. I'm not super excited about that. I think you can go to Jack Besh, a young player they highly invested in, and get a little bit different there. On the other side, I think Wan'Dale Robinson going to be pretty popular. I think you can pivot and go to Darius Slayton. I think Chimere DK is in play on the Titans. Kind of can been their number 1 receiver as a run it back on any Saints stuff. Brian Thomas Jr., I'm going to continue to play him. And I know Sauce Gardner may be back, and that's the matchup. But I'm with Noto. I'm just not a Jacoby Myers guy. And he's been proving us wrong for sure. I still question the ceiling for him. And I'm going to give you a Mitch Tinsley type play here, Kirk. This one is not for everybody. This is way off the radar. And as much as I like Kyle Williams, Efton Chisholm, the third, I believe, for the Patriots. I'm bringing this up because there's no Booty. There's no Matt Collins. Now, this is going to take Demario Douglas being out as well. But there's been this guy popped in the preseason. He's gotten zero opportunity as they have so many wide receivers. But he's gotten some good coach speak here this week. Mike Vrabel saying, yeah, the kid's earned it. He's going to get some opportunities out there. What does that mean? We don't know. Super, super, super deep, risky, ugly, nasty, whatever you want to call it. Efton Chisholm's a guy, I think, if he gets on the field, he can make some plays. And this could go, the Patriots get up big. Now these young guys get more of an opportunity. So there's quite a few paths where this one could play out. They get up big, they're sitting Diggs down. Then it's
McDaniels loves nothing better than to cook up a play like this, just like he did with Kyle Williams' first TD. Like they love this. This is right up their alley.
So this again, one of them gross, nasty. Don't put this on if you're running 1 team, 5 team, 10. You're running a lot of lineups. You want a way to get different. Just keep the name Efton Chisholm. I mean, what a name. Efton
do we have a touchdown prop?
I'll dig around. I highly doubt it, but
yeah, what's his 2 touchdown prop?
Dude,
Caleb
parlay.
A parlay might be.
I'll see if I can find anything.
Yep, he's only 5-1.
No
anytime.
Way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, plus 500 on DraftKings.
Wow. And that kind of shows you that he's going to have a role. He's going to play.
So,
what's Kyle Williams?
He's got it. I'm looking right. I'm on the page right now. He's
plus 240.
Yeah, 240, 260. Wow. You're right. There's a plus 650 for Chisholm, but I think that's Hard Rock.
Yep. All right. I mean, I have to do it. I got to parlay him with Caleb. Just go for it. We got to get rich over here. We can't sit on the sidelines. You know what I mean? These
are small swings to win big. So now, if Caleb doesn't score, this is not a adding me and you told me to bet the house. And I'm not saying bet the house. And this is a fun little something to enjoy this gross slate with outside of DFS. So, but Chisholm is very, very intriguing for DFS as well, as Caleb would be if this plays out as we want it to.
All right. I know you got a couple sleepers, Noto.
What, wide receiver?
Yeah. No one you held back on?
Man, we should have been on Parker Washington. We even looked at the numbers for Jacoby not lining up in the slot because we wanted the slot guy for Jaguars last week. But I don't know. I'm not.
It could be the same thing against the Colts, to be honest with you.
It's true. They do give up a lot underneath. I like the Jack Beck call from Beer. I mean, A.D. Mitchell, I'll keep playing him in my
I had him in my stuff. A.D. Mitchell was in my the 10K winner.
Let's go. He was in my big winner too.
Did he actually do something in your?
He actually did something when I had him, but but Cam Ward did not.
It's actually more satisfying when you win and they do nothing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like when I saw Noto's lineup and it had Cam Ward, like 6 points, like that's some gangster.
We didn't mention Cam this week. Is he?
He's fine. I brought up DK. I think is an interesting cheap wide receiver play. They're getting more involved with or getting more involved. So Cam's fine. I mean, he's fine. I'm just not seeking him out.
All right, let's move it on over to tight end. We've got one incredibly easy low end and one incredibly easy high end play. Michael Mayer is the low end guy at 2,500 with Brock Bowers being out. Like Noto's been saying, you can play Geno and Mayer and then do whatever the hell you want. So they're still too cheap for McBride in the matchup against Cincy, which on a season, stretched out throughout the season is like the greatest matchup of all time for tight ends. And this looks like it should be the perfect game script with Burrow going off with Chase and Higgins, and then you wanting Brissett coming back on the bring back trail. So McBride 7,500. His numbers go toe to toe with the top wide receiver guys. So still too cheap. We've been saying it all season, but he is. Then also Juwan Johnson. Have to love him again after just target machine last week. 9 targets, 8 receptions. Didn't hit pay dirt. Had 89 yards. I'm thinking this is a week where he scored a touchdown easily. Taysom probably won't be as involved as he was last week, where they were cooking up things specifically for him in his last game in New Orleans. So I like Juwan Johnson a lot. Those are my favorite. Hunter Henry, I get the play with everyone out. Man, I hate the guy has mitts for him. Like he can't. He can't catch. You can't count on him to catch. Me personally, so I actually like Hooper better at 2,500, but that's just me. Maybe whatever. But take us away, Beer. Who do you like him?
I don't care what he costs. I don't care what the ownership is. You continue to play Trey McBride, and you laid it out. The best tight end in the best tight end matchup that not only we've seen this year, but potentially the last 5 to 10 years. They're that bad against opposing tight ends. So he is a primary target for me. Mayer is the cheap guy. That one I like. It's no given. We've seen him in the spot without Bowers. He had one good game. He had a game that he barely registered any stats. So there's certainly some risk with that, but a talented tight end that they believe in. So I do like that stack with Geno, save you some money. I agree on Hunter Henry. I generally like him more when he's under-owned or low-owned, and he's going to be pretty popular this week. So still kind of debating that one. Some other plays, love the Juwan Johnson call. Just a clean stack there with Tyler Shuck. Brenton Strange has been playing great for the Jacksonville Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence, so he's in the pool. Harold Fannin, I know, is dealing with an injury, but sounds like he has a shot to play. Njoku's already been ruled out, and he's just so involved in that offense. So if he's good to go, I think we're going to get super low ownership on him because everyone's thinking he's out, he's not playing. He's going to be a late addition for most people. So I like that one. And then super low owned, I think Darren Waller still of intrigue here against Tampa Bay. Probably 1-2% owned. We know the level of upside that he has as far as finding the end zone. So still going back to Darren Waller this week.
Nice. What are you thinking, Noto? Same?
Yeah, I love Mayer. Just 2,500 for the tight end one for Las Vegas. Sign me up for that. I like McBride always. Man, I got off to a great start last week, and then I had Brissett and McBride in my main lineup, and I was just waiting for them to go off in that second half against the Falcons. They just never did, but I'll go back to him, and he's a great bring back for your Cincinnati stuff. Kind of agree on Hunter Henry. I just don't like playing him as chalk. Like, he has upside, but he also has really low floor, so he could easily burn your lineups. I'm not really on Tyler Warren either. So two of the more chalky guys I'm not too interested in, but I like Fannin, I like Juwan Johnson, like Strange, but I'll probably have the most exposure to Michael Mayer.
That guy, Tyler Warren, had like 9 targets. I actually captained him in Showdown, and I felt like an idiot. It just, like, none of them were catchable. It's like they were just not on the same page whatsoever. But Josh Downs was on the same page for sure. But, yeah. All right. Should we move it on over to defense?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So, okay. From the high end, if you got the cash, the Pats against the Jets look pretty good. Pitt against Cleveland looks pretty good. Pitt D, I think Pitt D is, we've been waiting on them all season because on paper they had so many good players, and yes, some of them are injured now, but like they definitely made a point in that last game when they needed it to turn on. Their D looked really damn good against Detroit last week. So yes, Detroit definitely a little overrated all season. And I think Arnold shouldn't have been calling plays, but that's for another day. But anyway, Pitt looked good. Still like them. Giants or Raiders, they're kind of interesting for cheaper to me. But like those games could go 1,000 different directions. So maybe I stay away from them. I don't know. I'm trying to. Who's the best cheapie?
Browns.
I think it's Carolina.
Carolina, you Browns.
2,100 for Carolina against Sam Darnold, who can be turnover prone.
I can get behind that.
Come on now. And the Browns, I mean, no DK Metcalf. Steelers might not have anything to play for. Browns have been great at home, their defense.
They're going to get trucked by Caleb Johnson.
Yeah, Caleb, they don't know what's coming.
My bad.
They don't know what's coming. Choo-choo.
That's right.
They can
Train's
give up
rolling
2
through.
and then get a pick 6 late, and everybody wins.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I think the Giants over Vegas. Yeah, without Crosby, you kind of mitigate any upside that the Vegas defense has. And as much as we're touting Geno, he can be a turnover machine as well. And we saw the Giants last week. They scored a defensive touch. They should have had 2. One got called back. So, that front against this Raiders line, that's one of the most talented fronts, in my opinion, with all them young guys causing pressure. So Giants make sense. I agree on the Patriots. A couple higher end ones I think are going to be loaned. As much as you guys want to Phil Rivers' legacy game, the Jacksonville defense could eat this guy alive. So it could look more like what we saw in Seattle for Rivers than what we saw last week. So Jacksonville and then Seattle is another super expensive defense that nobody's going to have against Carolina. So
the San Fran defense still got there with that pick 6
yep.
at the end of the game. They actually ruined my king of end zone of the week or whatever.
Same. I had DeMarcus Robinson.
Yeah, me too.
Sweating that 22-yarder, like, hey, this ain't gonna last, but it did all the way to the end.
Yeah, I know. It was like I was already wrapped up. It seemed like at the very end, and then I actually made more money because of Showdown than that. But it just something just satisfying about hitting
Absolutely.
one of those king of the end zone.
For sure.
It's more like for pride. All right, so let's wrap. Let's build a lineup here. I mean, I feel like I should please the crowd here and just be the Patriots homer and insist that we do Drake May, but I won't. But so are we doing Geno or are we doing Burrow is probably the way it shakes out here.
We can do Drake.
Oh.
Dodo says neither. Let's go Drake.
I mean, I like all 3, so.
Well, I mean, you don't have to convince me. I mean, Beer, can we do Drake?
My concern with him is they get out ahead and then they just pound the rock. So the upside, can the Jets do anything to force Drake May to have upside? That's the worry. Not that he's a bad play. I like him. I just question the ceiling.
Well, their defense is a little banged up and their offense is whittled down.
We'll roll with it. I don't think it'd be as popular, as Lawrence, as Burrow. He's going to be up there, but not as popular.
Well, the good thing about it is if we do it, we don't have to do a bring back.
Right. Although A.D. Mitchell's been good to you guys, so.
All right, I'll leave it to you. You make the call. I don't care either way. So I'll give you Burrow, Geno, or Drake.
I say we go with Geno.
Okay.
Go Chief.
Let's go. So then we're doing Mayer.
Yep. And then it's a matter of, do we want to include Genty in that? I like getting him involved in this way, that it's going to be way lower owned.
Okay. So we got money. So we're doing Chase.
I want to do a Chase.
We're doing
Chase
McBride in the flex.
Chase, Chase McBride mini or skinny.
So we're going McBride in the flex. And then we're doing JSN. Is that what we're doing, Nono?
I don't know if we have enough.
Yeah, we're probably going to be short.
Well, we're gonna want some digs.
Or Kyle Williams, one of the 2.
Yeah.
Or Efton Chisholm.
Yes, sorry. Jets have no idea what's coming to them.
How about a total legacy move of Caleb Johnson and Efton Chisholm?
Imagine we go out.
I'm kidding.
It's not week 18. If it was week 18, I'd let us go out like this.
TJ, can we get Saquon in there? Or is that?
That would be, yeah.
I think we're going 100 short. Yeah, a couple hundred short.
Okay, so then we get rid of JSN.
Actually, if you want to go Chisholm instead of Kyle Williams, that's the $300 necessary to get a minimum price defense.
Well, the touchdown odds aren't bad.
Does that give us like Carolina then at 21, or are we at 2?
No, it would have to be the Jets at 2K.
We do Mike Evans over Jason or
Yeah. I love Mike Evans.
Me too.
I mean, what's not to like? Touchdowns.
Yep.
So then you have $3,800 remaining.
Steelers?
Defense we want.
Pick anybody other than the
take
Patriots.
So we take the Steelers D or whatever. I don't care.
Seahawks, lots of different options there. You got Geno, Genti, Barkley, Jamar Chase, Mike Evans, Kyle Williams, Michael Mayer, Trey McBride, and your choice of any defense that is not the Patriots.
That's a winner right there.
Bang.
The Geno lineups look nice. They're gonna crush me, but they look nice.
Who's putting that in for all the dollars?
Noto's got it because he's gonna have a million Geno lineups. So it's
Noto, you putting that in for us?
Yeah, let me I need a screenshot though. Put it back up there real quick, TJ. Okay, thanks, bro. All right.
Trying to get it.
So we're gonna win $1 million there. At least $500,000 on Caleb Johnson props.
Big week for the show here.
Absolutely.
We've got Chris, or who was it? Chris Long, or was it who was saying they were playing the 100,000, the double TDs with Saquon,
Bucky, and Caleb Johnson.
Was I don't see it.
Lunch pail, something lunch pail.
Yeah, hard hat lunch pail.
All right.
That guy's going to work. Hard hat lunch pail is going.
Yeah, this is his last week. This is his last week, fellas.
Right.
So,
turning in the lunch pail.
He's giving them the big FU one.
Here's the hard hat. Here's the lunch pail. We're done.
Take that. Get the. He's burning bridges.
Had some late news. Theo Johnson ruled out. So good call by TJ.
So the Giants are making their moves now on the tank. So yeah. This is going to be weird. This game could go.
Like I said, it feels like a week 18 slate. We're just a week early.
All right, big weekend on stack for the show here, guys. Thank you for joining us and taking part in chat. And what more to say than thank you to TJ, thank you to you guys, and let's effing go, Caleb Johnson.
Absolutely, legacy game, baby. Caleb Johnson.
All right, this has been the RG DFS Tournament Takes podcast, and we will catch you again next week. Thanks.